everybody? It's your girl Cece with Where It Begins Magazine, and we have a special guest on the line with us today. I'm gonna let her introduce herself or who she is, what she does, and where she's from.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Vanessa Dimitropoulos, formerly Vanessa Cloke. That was my acting name. And it was a married name and it never really worked, the name or the marriage. So I took back Dimitropoulos, which is Greek. I'm actually from Paramount, California, which is like Long Beach, Compton, that kind of area. And that's where I was born and raised, went to Paramount High School. And then I kept moving south to Orange County for college, San Diego. I had a little dance company. And then I was all over the place. So that's who I am, where I'm from.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about your journey. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are today?
Sure. I have kind of led this serendipitous life that really got me to places because I always followed my heart and really truly what I wanted to do. And when I was like 7, I was like, I think I want to be an actress. I would watch that HBO symbol on TV and I was just fascinated with it. And the first TV show I booked was on HBO when I was in my 30s. It was Treme, which was shot in New Orleans. So I had not pursued acting until I landed in New Orleans. I kind of did everything but. I studied dance, I taught dance. After college, I owned a dance company. And then I ended up marrying a sailor who I met working as a bartender on San Clemente Island, which is like 80 miles off the coast of California. Yeah, so I got flown in every day, every Wednesday. Every other Wednesday, I was flown in from was it Coronado? One of those bases down there.
That's
flown into the island, stayed there a week, flown back out, and then I had my dance company. We ended up getting stationed in Spain, which I had always wanted to live in Europe. Yes. So we lived there for 3 years, had a lot of fun, did some amazing traveling. I, was in Dublin for St. Patty's Day. Best fireworks show I've ever seen in my life, hands down. Saw U2 play in Paris, and then I've been Morocco. I was all over the place. And then I ended up in New Orleans. And it just so happened that New Orleans was this huge film hub. Like Atlanta right now is huge for film and TV. Florida used to be pretty busy, but I think they got rid of their tax program, but New Orleans was on fire. And I ended up selling my dance company, but I was working as a director of, was the director of a modeling and acting school. And I wasn't too keen on the school itself, but I saw all these kids getting interviewed by agents and I was getting them, signed with agents. And the whole time I'm like, man, I want to be doing this, And my boss actually said, you're too old. And I was like 32 at the time, or 31. Yeah, he said that to me. So I started taking an acting for film class at night. I told him I was taking a business class though. so he'd let me go home a little bit earlier.
Right.
And I spent 6 months just studying the craft with the camera because I had never worked on camera before. And 6 months later, did a showcase, got an agent, and then a year later decided I was going to have the best agent in town, which I ended up getting, and she's since passed. May she rest in peace, Claudia Spiker.
Right.
And then I just started working. That was the journey up until about 5 years ago when I came back to LA for Oscar season because of The Big Short. Yeah.
Okay.
And then shit started to go down south.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, we all have that time where things go back, but we always pick back up. So that goes into my next question. Let's talk about this campaign then.
Yeah. So, okay. So it's called The Escaped Goat, and we have a mission to reform psychological abuse laws and educate law enforcement on the tactics of psychological abusers. I know we all watched the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing. As anyone in the public eye, anyone can come out and say whatever they want, and the media is allowed to just publish it, even though they have no proof, they have no evidence. And, if you've made the decision to be an actor or any sort of public figure, sure, you agreed to be on camera while you were working, but then the rest of your life should be private, but there's some kind of weird thing in Hollywood where it's like you signed your soul away, you signed your life away, and they'll come and take advantage of it. And that's exactly what TMZ did. So I was in what's called a narcissistic abuse situation. And it was with my partner that I'd been living with for a year and a half. We went through a breakup, like shit happens, people break up. But this was
Mm-hmm.
another level. This was some kind of evil, cruel campaign to destroy me, to throw me out of my home, to ruin my 11 years of hard work and credibility and my reputation. And they showed up to my house on a Saturday morning with 3 cops who let them take all the furniture we had been using, including my bed, our refrigerator. They took my cat. And then I was a victim of reactive abuse. So I had made it very clear that I was afraid of a certain person in this family, and they brought that person to stand outside of my apartment so that when I tried to get away, she was standing there recording me. And at this point, it had been about 3 months of not a lot of sleep, not a lot of food. I had been gaslit for so long, which for those of you who don't know what that is, because the term gets flown around, it's when someone tries to convince you that the reality that you're experiencing is not real. They're trying to tell you, no, you didn't see that, you didn't feel that, that didn't happen, you're crazy, you're insecure, you're losing your mind. So this was going on for a very long time. At the same time, I was trying to recover from a car accident, and I was trying to get back up on my feet. I was going to run for city council in the city of Fullerton. And this person that I was with, I don't know what happened, but flipped. Just the person that I knew was gone in a matter of a day, just flipped. Um, and next thing I knew, I was being attacked on social media. Very cruel things were said about me. Then his entire family and friends started ganging up on me, sending me messages, bribing me, trying to get me to leave my home, which it's bad enough when you've been in a car accident. Now you're going through a breakup. And when you think that this is the person you're supposed to be marrying and you're going to have a life together, well, you don't really have other plans. So here I was, I needed to find a new place to live. I basically moved out of LA County where I was working a lot in film and TV. And then they got very cruel and malicious. And I asked them to stop. And then next thing I know, these cops are at my apartment on a Saturday morning, assisting them, allowing them to take whatever they want. When I left my apartment that day, she was standing in the stairwell recording me. After, a few months of this going on, I grabbed the phone, I flipped her off, I called her the C word, and I took the phone and I threw it over the balcony and I started to run down the stairs. She had me arrested. She lied to the police, said that I assaulted her. I still have charges on my record. I've never been arrested. I've never had issues with the law. The person I was dating, which was this woman's brother, knew
Okay.
that I was innocent. He's also had gone to school to be a counselor, a therapist, and he pretty much let me hang. So I've been, yeah. For
Wow.
the last 2.5 years, I've been dealing with the court because pandemic pushed everything. 5 months after the abusive situation, my mom got sick, stage 4 cancer. 5 months after that, she died. And in the meantime, I've been, what people don't understand about this type of abuse, it gets down on a very cellular level. Most victims suffer from some sort of autoimmune disorder, adrenal exhaustion, uh, depression, anxiety, a
Right.
lack of will because nobody believes anything you're saying. They've called you crazy, all that stuff. And what ended up happening after that event is that woman sold my arrest video to TMZ. And I begged TMZ not to air it because I was suicidal. And I explained that to them. And they aired it
Mm.
anyways, and they aired it on Christmas Eve that year. So um, I kind of, I went down this very dark hole, that I had to pull myself out of and make a decision. And the decision was, am I going to let this ruin and kill my spirit, which it absolutely did for a while? Or am I going to flip the script on them? They used I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a movie star. I was on The Walking Dead. I was in an Oscar winning movie. But if you said, hey, Vanessa Cloke, nobody would know who that is. You'd have to see me. You'd have to know my credits. But I worked my ass off for those credits and for that reputation. And so these people just instantaneously ruined it. And so I thought, well, if I have any notoriety at all, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to pour it into this campaign, The Escaped Goat, which is, our website is amazing. If you're a victim of this type of abuse, you can tell your story anonymously. If you have any experience in PR, in law, anything that you could contribute to the campaign, if you're a lobbyist, to help us get these laws reformed, because psychological abuse, which involves coercive control, reactive abuse, it's not covered. It's so there's all these malicious, malignant narcissists running out there, and they get off on destroying human beings. So it's extremely scary. It leaves people broken. And usually you can't see the bruises, the scars, anything. It's all internal. Yeah, so that is the website, www.theescapedgoat.com. We're just right now trying to do a call to action, get people involved, raise awareness, sharing my story. I have spoken to so many victims. So many have been wrongfully arrested. I mean, wrongful incarceration is nothing new in our society, especially with the level of corruption that exists in our country. And it's a damn shame, because one little moment can ruin someone's entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely want to say prayers to you, because that is a lot to take in, and prayers again, for losing a parent and everything. Um, I definitely, you have my prayers, because I know that's a lot
Thank you.
to go through. But
Yeah.
even though you went through all that, it's like you're still standing, you're still pushing, you're still doing the great things, and being able to talk to the world about what you're going through and helping others that are going through this cycle. But as that goes to my next question, like, what motivated you to keep going when you was in that dark passion? What are some things that helped you get through everything, to get to now you're sharing your
Right.
story, and now you're getting back up, and now you're like, okay, I'm free. I put all that in the past. I'm going to work back on myself. I'm going to start this campaign. It's time to go back and be the Vanessa I know that I am. So,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, faith and trust. And that is, I think, the thing that we cling to that slips away last, and then we have no hope. So there were so many moments where I felt like I had no hope. These people got away with this, like how it was so disgusting what they did. And there were like 13 of them. That is what really broke me at first, was how could people be this effing cruel? I couldn't even understand it. And then I started looking at all the synchronicities. The fact that they used that I had been on The Walking Dead as a way to make money off of my arrest video. Like, most of them have records of some sort. They've been arrested. They have DUIs. They're alcoholics. They have their own addictions. If anyone had televised the shit that they've done, I don't know if they'd still be standing, because that's humiliating. That's embarrassing. So I felt in some way that this happened to me for a reason. That whatever sliver was used of my notoriety was used for their benefit, to try to destroy me and give them some, petty cash in their pocket by selling off a humiliating video of me. I'm going to use that same sliver. There's got to be a reason. Like, God didn't leave me out here to hang. God didn't leave me out here to go through this in vain. So if that platform of being on The Walking Dead, which I'm not even a fan of the show, you know, I was never a fan. I was grateful for the work, but I wasn't a fan of the show. But somehow here I was on this show and in this industry where, and I have this voice, you know, it was vindication for all of the other victims when I interviewed several of them and heard their stories, and they were almost identical to my own. And I thought,
Oh,
someone's got to speak up about this. And it's so scary because the narcissistic personality, um, they'll stop at nothing. They'll stop at nothing to destroy you. And their biggest fear is being exposed. Well, I'm going to expose them. I'm going to expose all of them. Because as long as we are living in the light and that light keeps shining, they can't hide in the corners. Their little dark deeds that they're doing, they're not going to work. You know, we have to get loud, be open about what happened to us. And then that's the only way for us to heal from it all, because this is an ongoing battle. So it's having the faith that you were chosen to go through, that you were so strong and resilient, that you were chosen to experience this. Because at the end of the day, our only purpose here in life is to live in a state of joy and serve others. That's our purpose. So we have to kind of take that lead, take what happens to us, learn our lessons, heal ourselves, and then serve others. And this is how I feel I'm supposed to be doing it. It doesn't always feel good. It's constant re-traumatization, you know, talking about it and working on the website. That's why it's taken so damn long, you know, to write the book. I got to sit my butt down at the computer and kind of go through it all again. But it hurts a lot less than it did 2 years ago. And I have
yes.
faith that I've seen karma work. I know what happens to people. You know, my
Mm-hmm.
job is not to make sure they get theirs. My job is to make sure that other people are protected, you know?
Yes, and I get that. Awesome. But I mean, that's a lot. That is a lot. But you just, that was my question. I was going to ask you, how do you define your purpose? But actually, you just actually answered that question. So now that you're back, what's next for you other than the campaign? What's next for you? You just mentioned that you have a book that you're working on. And so what do
Mhm.
you see yourself in the next couple of years? What do you see yourself going? And are you going to go back to doing more films? You know, what are some things
Yeah.
that you want to accomplish now?
So, I really do miss acting. I miss it because I feel like I lost an appendage, you know. That was part of who I was. I hate to say it's who I was. I mean, it's not who I am, it's what I did. But I really loved it. The industry has gotten a little narcissistic in and of itself. So that happened. I mean, I've had a hard time even finding work. You know, anyone Googles anyone these days. So you can look me up, you can see that this happened to me. And if you don't know the backstory, you're going to think I'm some mad woman out there. They don't know what reactive abuse is. Um, and then, you know, obviously people can do background checks and see that these charges, which have been dismissed, but they're not dismissed in the court system yet. But they got dismissed through a divergence. So now I'm trying to find work, and I'm simultaneously, aside from the book and the campaign, I'm developing a feature film called Crossing Over. And it is about a woman who was severely abused in Honduras. This is a true story about a friend of mine, actually, named Ellie. Um, and then she was forced into prostitution and essentially bought her way out, and then was able to come into the United States and start a new life. But she had a lot of demons that she had to overcome. Eventually, she found her own connection with um, God and got herself out of that toxic, you know, mindset that keeps us tethered to addictions and just the horrible environment that keeps us suppressed, keeps us from being who we're supposed to be. So I'm working on that. We're in the process now of trying to attach some actors. We'd love to be shooting by the end of next year. Got to raise that money, of course, and we'll be shooting a lot of it in Honduras. Yeah, so that's called Crossing Over. And then I do Krav Maga classes several days and several times a week. I'm actually testing this Saturday for my level 2, which I think is the orange belt. So that's more of like a very empowering thing for me. Can defend myself. It gives you a dollar
Okay.
knowing that, you got something in your back pocket.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a
Yeah.
good thing, and definitely prayers to your friend. And I can't wait to see this project, because that's another testimony that I think everybody should be wanting to share the things that they go through to get to where they are today. And that's why I like to ask
Yeah.
people, how do you get to this point? Because we go through so many challenges and hurdles in our life and still push through them to make it, to the top. So, I applaud you, and that I'm glad that you're doing some good things and you're getting back into being the person that you used to be.
Yeah,
So
I miss
definitely.
her. When you go through something like this, there's something happens to your sense of self. I used to run my own little company in New Orleans. I ran a very successful video audition service. I did a couple of short films and web series I produced. I was a little bit of a badass. I was always doing something. And I lost a lot of that. A lot of it was shamed out of me. Like, why are you so um, aggressive? Why are you so this? And that usually came from people who were not as ambitious as I was. So, they like to kind of put you down. They like to put you in a box. And so, and then, why are you so angry? Well, when you've been abused on some level for so long, I mean, look at animals. You
Right.
can only poke at them so much, they're going to bite. The problem is
Mhm.
that people are only seeing the bite. They're not looking beyond to see how'd that person get there? How did that person become so angry? And in our society today, we're not allowed to get angry unless you go to a hockey game and you pay to watch them beat the crap out of each other. That's okay. But you cannot get angry,
Right.
and we're women, right? So we got to keep it together and
Okay.
be cool. No, I'm fucking pissed, like, and I have a right to be. And I think that, we need to be okay with healthy anger. And there's so much of a culture of, well, I don't want to rock the boat. And even when I was in acting, Vanessa, why are you always, why can't you just be grateful you got that part? And I'm like, because they're paying me what I was making, 8 years before that. And I've done a hell of a lot more work. And the only reason they're still paying us crap is because you're allowing it. When everybody just allows it, but then when you're the loudmouth who's speaking up, of course she's the crazy one. She's making everybody uncomfortable. Well, look at our world. Look at how corrupt things are now. That's because this code of silence. And that's because we watched out for ourselves. Well, I don't want to lose a part, so I'm not going to speak up. You know what? That is a selfish mentality. If we all decided that we're going to stand up together and not let them divide us by anything, race, religion, status, any of that. Once
Right.
we understand that it's them against us, everything changes. And I think that that is happening in all these different industries. People are starting to, even now, like I go to the store, how they have those self checkout things.
Yeah.
I don't want to use them because you know what happens when we start using those? People lose their jobs. So what if none of us use them? They'll get annoyed. They're like, I can show you how to. I'm like, I know how to use it. I know how to use it. I don't want to use it. I want to come in here and the person that's getting paid to help me, I want them to get paid. Once we all
Okay.
go to machines, there's no turning back. Think,
Okay.
let's put all the machines to work and then we'll all get money, right? But they're not going to do that. They're going to keep all the
Right.
money for themselves.
I got you.
So we have to watch out for each other. You know, in every industry, we're all going to see an exposure of something. And that's, you know, eventually everybody will face the consequences of their choices. And
Mhm.
all we have to do right now is do good, do good, do good, because everything comes back to us, you know.
Amen. Amen to it. I agree with you. But going to my next question, right now, what is something that, like, what advice can you give to the next generation, to females, to female leaders right now?
I honestly, because historically women were some of the most successful leaders in
Mm,
empires, you know, they, because we have hearts, because we use our minds and our hearts. I think, one, it's time for us to step into our power. And I think we've been doing it for the last couple, I'd say the last good decade. We've really started to kind of own what we're here for. And if a woman and a man had the same inflection in their voice and the same conversation, the man, it's just normal. The woman, oh, she's aggressive, she's too harsh, she's this, she's that. No, no, no. We need to stop apologizing, and we need to demand that men treat us the way that we should be treated. And that's by having our own standards based on our value. If we lower our standards because we don't recognize our value, you think anyone's going to rise up to meet us at the top? We're just enabling people to treat us the way that we don't deserve. So, my
mhm,
advice is step into your power, make people meet you where you are, know your value, and set your standards based on that value. And don't let anybody shame you for personality traits that a man, you know, on his resume or in his interview would be applauded for. And again, that means that we have to step into our own, and we have to unite as the feminine energy, as the female collective. And then men, you know, they're going to have to step up their game.
I
I
got you.
actually had a guy say to me, "Why do you always have to have bigger balls than everybody else, all the other guys, Vanessa?" I'm like, "Okay, that sounds like a personal problem. Why are you trying to shame me for being a strong woman? That's what I want to know."
Mm-hmm. Okay. I know
Right
that's
along.
facts. Fact. Yes. Yes, those are definitely some gems, that we could take to the next generation and take them within ourselves. So, thanks for giving that advice. But now I have two fun fact questions. I know we kind of been on the dark side. I like to do
Yeah.
this. It's kind of like a game thing that I just like to have a
Okay.
little bit of fun. So, let's go with this one. I love to ask all my interviewers this. If you could change places with one person for one day, who would it be and why did you choose that
Oh my gosh, that's a good question.
person? Just for one day.
I know, right? Just that's a lot of responsibility. Um, you know what? To be honest with you, if it was just for one day, I'd want to be a kid again.
Hmm.
It could be with
Okay.
the old me, you know, with my little self, just trade places with her for one day. But I have to be able to know what I know now.
Okay. So basically,
Yeah, I think I'd want to be a kid for one day.
so what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self that most of the stuff doesn't even matter, that it's not going to matter in 5 years, so don't waste 5 minutes worrying about it. I would tell myself, just go be your complete, authentic self and have a force field to anything they're trying to condition me to be. I would just say, stay the course and be yourself.
Okay. All right. All right. So my second fun fact question is, if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be and why did you choose
That's
that?
a really good and hard question because I love food so much. Okay, let me think. Oh, that's tough. Okay. Um, you know, that's really hard. Okay, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Ben and Jerry's half baked ice cream.
Oh, okay. And
In
well, we
this
already
fantasy world, yeah, no calories, none of that. I just get to eat whatever I want, right?
Okay.
Yep,
That's
that is a
different.
good
I
one.
wouldn't think I wanted to eat that for the rest of my life, but that's different. I would have probably
I
said
think I
probably some
could.
kind of certain kind of pizza or something like that.
I was like, do I want a meat? Because I love Lebanese food and I could
Uh-huh.
literally eat Lebanese food every single day. But I mean, if I had to be kind of not punished, but if I was doomed to eat the same thing every day of my life, then I might pick something that I probably shouldn't be eating every day for the rest of my life. Then I could balance it out.
I got you. I got you. I'm gonna ask one
What
more
about
question. What's
you?
one? I don't know. I probably would think of pizza, but different. I don't know something. I don't know. I don't know what I would
Could you
want to
eat the
eat for the
same
rest
one
of
with
my
the
life.
same toppings?
But I mean, if I had to choose one thing for the rest of my life, if I could switch the toppings every day, then maybe yes. But I'm
Okay.
just
Yeah.
thinking right now because it'll switch up tomorrow. Because we'll switch up every day. But right now, I guess because I have a taste for some pizza, I would say pizza.
Yeah, pizza is always good. Pizza is always good, especially New York pizza.
Yes, yes, yes. But one more question before we get off. What is one fun fact about yourself? Because I know we went a lot in the dark side and everything. But what is one fun fact about yourself?
I'm just kind of quirky and silly and I do weird things. I don't know. I was influenced by, Lucille Ball and Jim Carrey. I did a stand-up set at the Improv after taking a class in LA. I really like stand-up and being silly. So I've been thinking about going, I don't know, taking another class and maybe doing another set. Because there's a freedom in doing
Mm-hmm.
stand-up comedy. I mean, they're trying to, ruin it, of course, by everyone being all PC, but I love talking shit. I'm a good shit talker, And I feel like if we'd all just like relax and like make fun of each other, like when I pick on someone, it's because I like them. When
Yeah,
someone talks shit on me, I mean, they're not being rude. I mean, someone that is a
right.
friend of mine or a close person and they talk shit, I feel special because they picked me to pick on. I feel like we need more of that. So that is one of my things. Like, I think my personality, because it's very strong and opinionated, I'm often read the wrong way, but I really am like such a nerd and I like to have fun. I like to play pranks. Still to
Okay.
this day, like, you want to go play hide and seek? I'm in.
Gotcha. Okay, well, we're
Yeah.
gonna talk that in existence and that you be a stand-up comedian and that be something that happens to you for your future because that would seem really, really cool and bring out a good
Yeah,
thing
that
because
would
I
be
like your
fun.
character. So
Oh, thank you. This
yes,
was
yes.
really nice. I appreciate you having me on.
And I appreciate you. But before we get off, can you tell everybody where they can follow you?
Sure. I'm just doing social media for the Escaped Goat. So there's a Facebook page, which is the Escaped Goat. The obviously the website, and then there's also an IG page, which is I am the Escaped Goat. Um, what was I gonna say? I know I'm supposed to start a TikTok. I'm really working on getting some content up. And I do hope that in the future that I can start doing some fun, kind of lighter content like I used to do. Things
Mhm.
just got so serious. But I miss that. So for now, everything's under the Escaped Goat, and I'd love if anyone wanted to visit the website. If you or someone that you know is in a relationship with a narcissist or that type of personality, there are so many resources on our site. I've been interviewing some of the experts in that field, and I really think it's time for people to start stepping forward and again, exposing this nasty, nasty. All abuse is nasty, but this is another level. It lingers for years and years. So that would be awesome to see anybody over there. Yeah, I appreciate it so much.
Well, I definitely want to say thanks for interviewing with us today. It's been a pleasure to get to know you in your journey. I send you much prayer still for everything that you've gone with, and continue to be the best that you can be, and continue to use your voice for others, because nowadays we need to hear it, because mental abuse and mental period um, is definitely needed. It's going on so
Oh
much in
yeah,
the
for
world. We
sure.
definitely need that voice, and we need more people to stand up, and tell their testimony. And that's why I started this platform, for people to tell their testimonies and journeys, because we all have a story that someone needs to
Yeah,
hear. So I definitely
absolutely.
appreciate you. I really do.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Cece. All right, you take care of yourself.
All right, you too. Prayers to have a
All right.
great day today.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
All right. Have a good
All
one.
right.